is over there, but we'll have to see how that all plays out. Oh, and we're getting started here. Both of our runners heading to Sanctuary, getting a piece of heart. And interestingly, GFE is looking like he's going to do the Houlihan trick, whereas Xyrak is perhaps trying to farm some bombs and head into Kakariko.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I don't see the Houlihan play early, unless we're maybe in like a different type of setting. But those early rupees can unlock, you can buy bombs, start saving up for Zora. There's a lot that you can do with those early rupees, so could play it to his advantage. But then we get a big 20 tree pull over on Xyrak's side.
Yeah, that is nice to see. We probably won't be worried about money too much. And yeah, you were mentioning other game modes. Key Sanity in Retro and early in Inverted is where money is really tight, so usually. And we get 300 rupees in Lumberjack Cave.
That bodes well for Aga potentially not being required, unless we just get locked out of the light world.
Right, so let's see what Uncle has for us today. Lost Wiz just has a bloopy. Big 20 on Uncle, nothing too interesting yet, just money all around, it seems.
Yeah, there's another bloopy there in the Thieves' Hideout, so it's very fairly rich seed so far. Speaking of which...
Another 300. Well, so this is going to be a rich seed, it sounds like. If we need to buy from Zora... Oh, and the Hoarder has bombs. So that's nice, too.
Surprised GFE didn't grab that fish to take it over to the bottle vendor.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You get like one of each kind of drop, I think, and bombs included, so I don't know how many you get, but GFE just got 2 there, so...
And Xyrak's tipping into Blind's Hut, so we'll get the first 5 checks here in Kakariko.
Ooh, the shovel. And a piece of heart at the maze game. And it looks like we got crystals at Eastern and Tarohera, and crystal, the green pendant, excuse me, at Desert Palace.
Kakariko's a good place to find that shovel because you can just route it in real quick on your way out the southern entrance and before you head over to South Shore. So could find something.
I missed what was in the back of the tavern, but oh, we get a sword in the well. And a heart. That's nice to see. Those are not that common in hard mode, so it's good to have that extra. Even one heart early on can be a big help.
Bottle vendor gave a bottle 70 full of red goo. And I personally completely forgot that the the chicken hut here is also randomized, so this is a potentially dangerous place.
Yeah, seeing the red beetle there, which does 2 damage, or 2 hearts of damage if you only have green mail, that can hit you pretty hard. GFE getting his red goo.
And the sick kid's paying $5 for the for showing the bottle, so.
Well, at least we have it out of the way.
Not not much in the way of progression so far, so...
Yeah, we have a sword. I mean, it's nice to have. Might be doing escape or mini Moldorm. We'll have a lot better chance of being able to do those. But yeah, a whole lot of nothing so far.
At this point, if I was running the seed, I wouldn't want to see the lamp, and I wouldn't want to see Master Sword before I started picking up some other progression.
Right, yeah, I definitely would like to see... I don't know, hammer is always nice to have. It's one of my favorites early on. It also gives you Dark World access, so it can, you know, prevent some shenanigans with Aga 1 or things like that. But really, we want a lift upgrade and the hammer and the Moon Pearl somewhere so that, you know, these runners can get right down to work.
Xyrak, remembering that he has the shovel, is going to go dig up whatever is buried over here in the grove.
Careful of that crab.
Yeah, those crabs, they never made sense to me. 2 hearts of damage dealt, but they can be killed with a single fighter sword swing.
Yeah, definitely glass cannon. Man, more money. So, big 20 in the dig spot.
And some money in Link's house, so just gonna keep getting richer.
Yeah. Okay, so Xyrak's heading toward the dam, it looks like.
We'll probably be seeing the dam over into Mini Moldworm Cave, doing those South Shore checks. Pretty item dense.
Right. Now, what do you think is going to be in the Mini Moldworm Cave?
What do I think, or what do I hope? Because I'm thinking we're going to see Master and Lamp. Oh, there's a hammer.
Hammer's really nice.
Just need a lift upgrade in that Moon Pearl. That's what they're hoping to see, at least one of those 2 in Mini Moldworm Cave.
Yeah, once you get that Dark World access, the unfettered kind, there's a lot more you can do, and you don't have to worry about, you know, did I make the right early play? You know, you got a lot of access at that point. Mirror would be nice as well, but hey, you know, we're still looking for the basics here. Looks like GFE is heading toward that shovel spot, is not going to be pleased with it.
Looks like it's a Mini Helma Day, or Mini Helma Cave today.
Yep, and we get the all-important bug net. Another heart, which is nice. Yeah, just some safety. And then Xyrak opting not to head over to the Ice Rod Cave.
Might be heading over to Salahashrila's hut, just checking what he's got in his closet. Or open to escape, actually.
Yeah, escape is probably... I don't know, there might be multiple takes on this, but escape seems like a good thing to do before Eastern, just in case you get something that helps out in Eastern. Like, normally I'd say the bow, but, you know, we're not going to necessarily need the bow to finish Eastern at all.
Yeah, so definitely looking, like, to play over into Eastern, maybe a lamp. So there's a couple things that you could be looking for up here in Escape, as well as the ever important progression into the Dark.
Yep, and also, you know, you gotta remember, the boss at Eastern Palace could be anything, so we might be able to fight it now. We might not. Is it blind, or is it Trinex, you know?
Yeah, definitely could fight it. It would be out of logic of the lamp, but I'm sure both these runners are very comfortable with those dark rooms, so wouldn't be out of the question.
Well, it is important to note that dark rooms in Randomizer can be extremely scary.
That is true. Not knowing exactly what you're up against is a bit daunting.
Yeah, like if you get a bunch of Lionels firing shots at you, like in that one room Xyrak was just in, then that could ruin your day. But I mean, if you're there, you might as well try, right?
Worst case scenario, you just get them back to the beginning of the dungeon.
All right, and GFE looks like he's headed toward the Ice Rod Cave, so we'll get to see what's there.
Yeah, if this is progression, it could be a little bit before Xyrak gets back over there. GFE could take a small lead. You know, we're early on in the seed. Leads don't mean too much here, but it could be an advantage depending on how long Xyrak puts it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not sure what's worse, the vanilla crabs over there or all those Hinox that were just over by us, right?
Yeah, they're a little bit scary, but they're also kind of slow, so... Well, another bottle. It looks like GFE is gonna fake flipper.
He's got the money for Zora. He can hit Hobo. A couple things he can do here. And surprise, surprise, just some more money over there on Lake Hylia Isle.
Well, yeah. So Sahasrahla has got to give something, right? Or Eastern, maybe Agana?
Agana could definitely be in play here, depending on what's found over here. It's one of those places you don't. Oh,
the death to the Beamos.
Beamos was just camping right at the top of the stairs.
That is highly not okay. Okay, so Xyrak's taking another shot at it. Oh, that mini Moldorm is absolutely doing the body block.
There we go. Gets by it this time, just eating the one shot and waiting.
Alright, so what does the sage have in his closet today? A whole lot of nothing.
Where is the progression?
Yeah, I don't know. Where GFE is not in logic yet, so...
So there's got to be something in Eastern or Agina. Like, those are all I can think of.
Yeah, well, you know, the money's on Eastern, right? You've got potentially 3 items there that can be in logic, so... Agana only has 1.
So you're hoping to grab, you know, because at this point we still need, regardless of how we're going to get it, we need 2 items. We either need a lift upgrade in the Pearl, or worst case scenario, Master Sword Lamp. So there's only a handful of checks left. So either Eastern's going to be dense, or you're going to grab 1 in Eastern and head over to Agina, because that's got to be where it's at.
Yeah, there's not much left. Okay, we got Big Key right away. And GFE is going to do Escape.
Now, with this being a crystal, you would want to see Lamp here, even if it does maybe point to Agina, because depending on the boss, you could go ahead and clear out this and get your first crystal about 20 minutes.
Yeah, and, you know, we mentioned before, we don't need the bow to finish this dungeon, so... But, depending on what the boss is, you know, if it's Argus or something, we'll have to come back.
So the first item in Eastern was just a big 20, so we still have 2 more items here in the dungeon itself. Not necessarily both accessible, but we can hope.
Right, and we can guess that flippers are probably not gonna show up because that didn't unlock anything. We got a lift upgrade finally. And some arrows is in Blind's hideout. Extremely not helpful clue. It might be slightly helpful if we didn't have the hammer and couldn't check everything in Blind's hideout, but that's an awful lot of things to have to remember.
Yep, and it looks like he's gonna give this dark room a shot. Looks like we had a Hinox and the bouncing flower thing from the Dark World, which I don't remember the name of, so.
Yeah, those Hinoxes can be defeated with a single bomb. And yeah, Xyrak's opting to give that a try. Oh, and then get sniped by something that I don't think we could see.
Yeah, there was something on the right-hand side that he killed his first time in the room, so it could have been whatever takes place at the anti-fairy. Looks like Xyrak might be heading for the fake flipper as well.
Right, well, we know that that will not pay off.
But we do know that Zora is now in Logic with the lift upgrade.
That is correct. But with the lift upgrade, we could also check the back of Escape. Which seems like that would probably be the thing that I would do right at the moment. Because that's 3 chests and it's really quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Just save, quit, sank, hop out, grab those 3. That's what you got to be hoping for outside of Agina, which is a really out of the way chest.
And kind of ideally, what it might be good to find, I'm thinking like the mirror and the lamp, because that would give you Dark World access and access to Hera. So that would be really nice if we saw those pop up. It would give us access to an awful lot of items that can be picked up pretty quickly. So GFE is going to pick up his Power Glove as soon as he gets to the one chest that has it. I don't remember if it's the map chest.
Yeah, it's the one just north of the Stothos room. So, oh, and we got the fake flipper death.
Yeah, that spike was prepared. It earned its pay today.
Randomizer is definitely one of those modes that benefits from that randomizer change that makes that a death instead of a soft lock.
Yeah, I forget, are you able to save and quit out of that soft lock? I don't remember offhand.
I don't believe so, because I believe you don't get save and quit control until you regain control of Link.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah, that would be a lot worse. And GFE also opting for the Dark Room. We'll see if he gets sniped.
Xyrak making his way over towards the Ice Rod Cave is going to be disappointed, unfortunately.
Really just a lot of disappointment everywhere. Oh, GFE makes it through the room. Okay, now this room is just bombs in Eastern. That room is usually quite a bit easier because you don't have the anti-fairies swirling around that one pot.
Looks like GFE might be checking the back of Escape. We'll see what's in these 3 chests.
Oh, the cape. Oh, no.
Well, we still need Lamp, but I'm gonna guess it's on Nagina.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised. Is there any other check that's in logic right now?
I don't believe so. So I think it's either going to be Lamp or Moon Pearl. It's going to be a 50-50 shot, and we know what GFE's hoping for.
Yeah, but that cape, though... Alright, so is... Let's see what Xyrak's gonna do now. Looks like he is checking Agena as well.
If it doesn't end up being the Moon Pearl, then that's going to play to his advantage because he won't have to check the back of Escape for the cape in order to progress.
Right. Oh, and then Quake on the Desert Ledge.
Be really convenient if that happens to be what's needed to get in Mire.
Sure would, but we'll have to see. We still haven't been to the Dark World, so we don't know what is a crystal and what's a pendant still. Oh, the book! That's kind of convenient, actually.
Yeah, that is convenient progression right next to desert. Okay, so that opens up a couple more checks because there's no way it can be boots locked at this point.
Yeah, something has to be in there.
Well, the dungeon itself can be boots locked if the progression happens to be in that first chest.
Right.
But the progression itself can't be boots locked.
Okay, yeah, so let's head on into Desert Palace and see what we got here. That room is just not nearly as interesting without that Beamos statue in the center. Oh, but the Lionel here kind of spices it up. Okay, so you got a key out of that, the map chest, I believe. Well, the enemies that have been popping up have been not normally the ones you'd necessarily consider dangerous, but they are trolling these runners pretty hard so far.
Yeah, nothing that's just extraordinarily and dangerously annoying. But oh, hey, look, there's the Moon Pearl.
Ah, perfect. No AGA required. Oh, and now we know that the big key is on the torch, so GFE opting out. Xyrak looks like he'll be picking up Quake.
So GFE is going to head down and take the South Shore portal, presumably right over into Hype Cave. Considering how big of a letdown Mini Moldworm Cave was, we'll see how good that.
Oh, Xyrak needs to be careful. Oh, he wants that hint too, and that's not very helpful.
That one should be green.
Oh my goodness! You see what's going on at that doorway there?
Not exactly where you wanted to use your red potion, but if Quake ends up being worth it, then I am completely down.
Oh, and we get Bombos and a little safety. And the Titan's Mitts in the Hype Cave.
Say 7 out of 10.
That's pretty good. The problem with finding the Titan's Mitts, though, is that you can go anywhere now, almost. So the seed is basically telling you, well, you try and find it. And GFE buys bombs from the bomb vendor. I don't know if a lot of people do this, but you can spend 100 rupees and get up to 30 bombs there.
Well, he's already checked Zora, so really he just needs money for Kiki, treasure chest game, and dig game, really.
Right. Yeah, the money situation is pretty much under control. Okay, and we get a map check. We get pendants at Mire and Ice.
And then our crystal is in Swamp.
And we got the red cane from Old Stumpy. So yeah, we have the Titan's Mitts, we've got the red cane, we've got a couple medallions. You think the seed wants us to do like an early Turtle Rock or something?
Yeah, maybe dip in there and grab what's in that first chest. Could be something that's necessary.
You can make your way surprisingly far in that dungeon without the fire rod sometimes. Oh, we get the mirror. Well, hello. That's the last piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, that's real good, especially here, south of Village of Outcasts, because with those Titan's Mitts, you can grab the Jeremiah and go to the blacksmith's chain. There's a lot you can do. You can do K45.
Yeah, GFE is opting to go south of Grove here. Not doing that with the blacksmith chain. I'm not sure how I would route this. This is kind of a tough one, because probably what I'd do is just head right on into Thieves Town, since that's a crystal. Needs to be done anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, it's those first 4 chests are effectively overworld checks, and you've got the hammer. You can full clear it. It's like, well, assuming you can kill the boss, and it is a crystal.
Yeah. Although picking up the smith with the hammer or with the mirror and getting that over with right now, along with the peg check, I can't fault that. Oh, Xyrak opting for that bloomerang.
Could be potentially useful. You can see what your stun drop is. It can be used to kill the Armos Knights.
The boomerang is not going to stun in hard mode, though.
You are absolutely right.
So that's mainly for utility. Or killing Armos Knights. Although I'd probably opt for the Cane of Samaria if I were to run into that case. And we just got a Master Sword at Vanilla location.
Well, how about that?
Well, I mean, technically it should be the Tempered Sword, but you know. Oh, blue potion. That would come in handy.
definitely will. It's worth noting, since we are in hard mode, that potions are only half as effective, so maximum of 7 hearts refilled and half your magic meter from that.
Yep, but that's still often enough. And then we get that lamp finally. So that's one less thing our runners have to worry about. They won't have to fumble in the dark. And as we've seen, the dark rooms in Randomizer can be extremely scary.
It also opens up Death Mountain within Logic, so...
Oh, Fire Rod. Well, guess what? We can head right on over to Skull Woods after this.
Yeah, for something not giving us much at all at the beginning of the seed, this is starting to kind of rain items that are useful.
Yeah, and another full heart container. That's nice to see as well.
Got a couple of stray Cuckoos here in Thieves Town.
It's always entertaining to see the Cuckoos show up alongside other enemies. Or like the fishes as well.
Well, there's all of our bottles.
Wow, I guess so. That's all 4. You think maybe one of these runners will have some insect-on-insect violence with Mothula?
Yeah, it's a decent strat, so we'll see how they want to play it.
Yeah, I once had that work in a seed that I was desperate for damage at that point, and a bee actually did finish off Mothula. But again, we don't know which boss is going to be where, and we could get multiple of the same boss. There's no guarantee in Chaos. Oh, we get Trinex.
Well, hello, Trinex.
And goodbye, Trinex.
I can just imagine there's a little sign above Thieves Town where Thieves has been scribbled out and it says Trinex Town.
Oh my, look at this room. That is a nasty room. Although with the pokey-like enemy gone, maybe not so bad.
Yeah, pretty much everything at that point is basically stationary. Oh!
Well, that's rude. Oh, I mean, some arrows are in the big chest of Swamp Palace, so we don't need to worry about that big chest. Oh, we have flippers now.
Looks like Xyrak's gonna go over here and check the chest above Blind's room. It is worth noting in Randomizer you don't have to bomb the floor.
Yeah, you can just walk right into the room. I think that might have been what GFE did. I wasn't paying 100% attention to how things were going down there. Might have just checked in to see what the boss was.
Yeah, I believe that's what he did. He just checked to see what the boss was and decided, you know what? I don't have what I need for this.
And fair enough. Okay, well, looks like we will be seeing what is in Mothula's place. Go on.
I was gonna say, Xyrak looking at that room and deciding, I'm never coming back here.
Well, once he got rid of that one enemy that could really cause trouble, then it got a little more manageable. That's the thing about Randomizer. You have to be aware of all your options. Like, things like Bombos and the cape can come in real handy.
And these spikes and rollers are just being, oh goodness, super rude.
Wow. That's a really good spike location.
That one, and then coming out of the exit there in Skullwoods to get over here was a roller just rolled right over GFE's face.
Also, that red beetle there, which takes way too many hits to kill. Just setting right up on that bridge. Yeah, GFE opting to go around the room and pick up some hearts. Very wise idea.
And Xyrak, finding nothing of note in the Thieves' Town's chest that GFE skipped, will presumably be heading to check to see what the boss is, and then immediately mirroring.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It could be a spicy blind fight, though. That could be fun. Or Argus that we cannot defeat.
Which you just immediately fall on, which that's fun.
That's so very rude. Okay, so we're gonna need the hook shot to be able to defeat that boss.
GFE is going to show us what's on the pedestal.
Oh my. Oh my goodness. What an awful thing to see.
Well, like we were saying at the beginning, it's not necessarily going to be required.
Well,
you still don't want to see it.
Well, it is because Pod is a crystal.
Oh, it is. I completely missed that.
And actually, it would, in order for that to be a thing, Pod would have to be a crystal. There's no other way it could be on the pedestal.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So we're going to be seeing all the pendant dungeons.
Yep. So strap in. We're gonna see more boss fights. Hey, you know, you wanted it. I know you wanted it.
I kind of wanted it, but we all know that chat really wanted it.
Yeah. So yeah, there are certain items that show up on the pedestal that, if you think about it, are just like 100% required. Hookshot is one of them, because that means Swamp Palace is definitely going to be a crystal. Things like that. The Ice Rod in particular. Like, you might be looking at the Ice Rod pedestal and thinking, oh yeah, I'm good. But unless you're an Randomizer, that is no guarantee. So you will have to pick up that Ice Rod. So Xyrak is soon going to find out that the boss here is not going to be completable. Or we'll get sniped by a roller on the overworld.
Oh, that is unfortunate. Nothing he could do about that.
That's unfortunate.
And with that, Xyrak also didn't get a chance to check the pedestal to see that that's where the bow is. So
yeah, that is critical information that GFE knows, and so, you know, if GFE can go and finish a pendant dungeon, he certainly will, knowing what he knows. But it looks like Xyrak is heading for a second try. And 10 arrows from the old man. Not very helpful. Oh, so there's another thing that we'll need. We need those boots in order to finish Desert. I wonder where those could be.
I would imagine somewhere here on Death Mountain, or potentially over in Ice Palace, because that, for the most part, is also in logic.
Yes, depending on the key situation, I believe Ice Palace may be in logic as completable. That hint was not helpful.
Not getting very many helpful hints this so far this seed.
No, really the one that was helpful is the pedestal itself. Oh, Xyrak's bunny sprite is pretty good.
So which boss do you think is going to be in Hera?
Oh, well, Hera does have some restrictions on which bosses can be in it, but Vitreous would be a nightmare.
Yeah, Vitreous with their loadout, definitely not fun.
Okay, and chat has informed me, and I've double-checked this, the requires the glove hint actually only points to the spike cave.
That is... So that's not a helpful hint in finding a particular item, but it is helpful in eliminating a out-of-the-way locations.
That is correct.
Xyrak seeing Argus and going, nope, I'll come back. And looks like he will be checking the pedestal while he's here, so he will know that he has to complete all of the pendant dungeons as well.
Yes, that definitely could save him a lot of trouble. Oh, we got the flute. Tower of Hera.
As well as the knowledge that there's a shield in Ganon's tower, not particularly useful.
Yeah, that one seems not helpful. Oh, that fire bar. Oh my goodness.
The enemy placement of these just not necessarily dangerous but annoying enemies is pristine.
It's so good. The floating skulls and the trap tiles and everything just are... It seems like someone placed them on purpose to be mean.
It just feels like something that Christos would have made.
Okay, so where is Xyrak heading? Oh, maybe to... Oh, check the... I didn't see what was on the bumper
I missed it as well.
ledge. Okay, GFE taking the second stroll through this room. Oh, checking... Oh, we got a vanilla Moldorm. Well...
Boring but doable.
It's got one eye. So that's a little different. I tell you, the random eye Moldorms creep me out.
Yeah, when he's got like 5 eyes, it's just not pleasant.
Yeah, something with that many eyes should be weak to arrows.
Alright, in about 45 minutes, GFE has picked up his first crystal.
Oh, and only one item in here, so I guess checking out the basement. So the flute was the one item that we picked up here.
I love this trick. It's perfect for getting up, getting a drink of water.
Oh yeah, and we also get to see what custom tile shape we get, and it looks like the boots.
Yeah, like a boot.
Okay, so what we have here, 5 rupees.
Alright, heading over to one of the most item dense, though, at least overworld locations. We're going to be getting Paradox Cave and Spiral Cave, and maybe taking a look at what the Turtle Rock Medallion is.
I imagine they'll probably check out Super Bunny Cave here too. They got the mirror, they got gloves, they're the Titan's mitts. Can't access the Hookshot Cave, any of the stuff in there, other than maybe what's on the floating island.
Floating island looks like that was just more money. So
Right.
if they find the hookshot over here, though, then they'll be able to pick up those. Or if they can find the boots, they'll be able to get the bottom.
Yep, and this Spiral Cave without the boots is indeed Resident Sleeper. But you gotta check it. Turns out this time it wasn't necessary. But hey, an extra heart and hard Randomizer, I wouldn't turn it down.
Definitely not. Especially with the way that this has been placing those stationary enemies.
So one thing about Randomizer that's nice, at least, is usually you don't have the dead rock nonsense going on, at least in Death Mountain. But those things can show up in other nasty locations. Oh, there's the boots.
It's almost like the Tower of Hera was trying to tell us something. Well, that gives us access back to Desert Palace. Also, potentially gives us access into Misery Mire, depending on if it is Bombos or Quake.
Right. Yeah, and GFE does know that Quake is there and can pick it up very easily. So yeah, where do you go from here, do you think? You go to Ice Palace?
I think I'd probably flute over to the Mire area and grab the Mire Shack, Checkerboard Cave, and see if I have access to Mire, because then you can link that and finishing up Desert Palace together.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because even though they're both pendants, we know you need them both, and then you get that extra item from the green pendant in Desert, makes it a pretty dense location.
Yeah, so let's see what we have at Turtle Rock. It is Bombos. Oh, and GFE is going to, at the very least, activate the portal.
Yeah, be interesting to see if he dips in while he's here.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the boss probably is not going to be Trinex. And, you know, with Randomizer, the kinds of enemies that we'll see in Turtle Rock are hopefully going to be a little easier.
And so he's going to go in and, looking at a cursory look of their items, I think this might fully be unlocked depending on the boss.
Right. Yeah, they got the lamp. They got everything. So
They even have he's got the cape for.
Oh wow, rude.
I was saying he's got the cape for Laser Bridge logic too. So
yeah, mirroring back, which is a very smart idea to avoid that chain chomp.
just go the other way.
Okay, that firebar is kind of annoying. Oh no.
So we've got a chain chomp in one corner and a fire bar in the other.
Yeah, that one enemy body blocking was just perfect.
And Xyrak's heading back in to do the Hera basement. Will be sad about what he sees.
Yep. Yeah, GFE needs to be careful here, because... Well, oh, that's interesting. Ice Rod.
Well, that means that Thieves Town is now completable.
And those rollers are kind of vanilla, but that one was looking like it was slacking off a little.
Yeah, that one just didn't want to come into work tonight.
So yeah, had Randomizer not been turned on, you would basically have to go into here to find that Ice Rod to beat Trinex.
Yeah, which is something that's kind of a double-edged sword because, you know, it's right where you need it, but it's also going to be not where you want it to be because you're not going to look here first.
No, definitely not. Oh, chat, get ready for another resident sleeper. We got the slow walk around.
Yeah, the slow walk around on Xyrak's side combined with the slow pipes over on GFE's side.
And there are a lot of those slugs with the skullhead enemies that are really just blocking everyone's way. It's amazing.
Oh, and some powder, so magic bat might hold something for us.
Right. Now, we should mention that powder only, in hard mode, only turns anti-fairies into single hearts, and bunny beams as well. So it's still okay, but not great.
It's okay, it's not great, but it's not playing on insane.
Oh, yeah. I forget what all insane has. I prefer not to think about it.
My favorite thing is just if you powder an anti-fairy or a bunny beam, it turns into a swarm of bees.
Oh, that's good. And you're limited to 3 hearts in green mail, right?
I believe so. I'm not
Yeah,
brave enough to try one, so I've just read it off the chart.
I don't know that I'll be playing one of those anytime soon, but you never know. Okay, so this Mimic Cave is specifically edited so that you can kill all the enemies in there every time.
And
Just a piece of heart.
A little bit of love.
Yep.
Now, what's interesting is I believe the only boss that they cannot beat at this point is Argus. So, can Argus spawn in Trinex's?
I don't think there's anything preventing that. That would be really unpleasant.
That would just be plain rude.
Yeah.
The little static ball looks like it's just trying its best to pretend to be a fire beam.
Oh yeah. Well, sometimes you can get those if those enemies that can't really move are placed properly, they can really bother you. Oh, looks like Xyrak is attempting a hover. Oh, misses it a second time, and GFE took the safety exit, which is very reasonable, and attempting to... Oh, took a shot from the eye laser.
It looks like he's maybe trying to save his magic. So he does have the cape, which I believe functions normally in this room. I don't even think it takes the extra magic.
Yeah, I believe that's correct. Oh, taking another death. Well, that's what that safety exit's for, so... And I was distracted a little bit, but I don't... Did Xyrak make any progress on the hover? I don't think that was the case.
No, look like I believe he tried a third time and failed it and just said, I'll come back with hookshot. And GFE opting to use the cape.
Yeah, at this point, probably. The boots requires a bomb. Oh, and Xyrak.
Ooh.
Oh, barely making his way past the chain chomp there. And then opting for a life refill.
Alright, well, let's see what we got here. They're hoping for anything but Argus.
Well, it's another one-eyed Moldorm.
And this arena is very, very easy to beat Moldorm in.
Yeah. Yeah, not posing much of a threat there.
$10 bounds in a crystal, and just shy of 1 hour, we have picked up our second crystal.
Alright, so with Spike Cave off the table, I imagine GFE will flute on over to Misery Mire.
Wonder if he doesn't know that that hint refers specifically to Spike Cave.
Yeah, must not. Well, I didn't until I looked it up just a moment ago, so...
Neither did I, so we're all in good company.
Well, at least it's $300.
So, the good safety money there. But I imagine he will head over to activate his flute, probably clear out Trinex while he's in the area over there in Thieves Town, and then potentially go over.
Yep, seems like a reasonable plan. Checking the King's Tomb and Bonk Rocks. Okay, we're getting a Bonk Rocks check. And then GFE, I imagine, is heading off to activate that flute. And, oh, Xyrak taking a death.
Yeah, it looks like he got bunny beamed and then got hit by the eye laser above the door.
Yeah, you can get comboed pretty hard by some of the enemies. And Randomizer makes it very unpredictable. Well, I should point out now is a decent time to check out the runners and go and follow them, because, you know, they're putting up with this so you don't have to. I think the Xyrak might have been trying to stun those popos, but no dice in hard mode.
Yeah, either trying to stun them or potentially just taking out frustration.
Okay, GFE is heading back into Thieves Town. And we know Trinex is the boss there, so...
Yeah, and I believe we know Trinex is an item. I don't think GFE knows that because he didn't check the full backside, so he'll probably be doing that as well.
Yeah, probably after facing the boss. Yeah. And opting for hammer strats on Trinex.
A little bit more damage than the Master Sword should take less magic use.
Yeah, just don't miss. Although, he does have a blue potion still, so...
Yeah, this Trinex sprite's pretty interesting. Looks like his main body's pretty ghostly.
Yeah. Oh, is, okay. GFE is not being a hero, using that blue potion to make sure that Trinex gets taken care of.
It's been a pretty snake-heavy seed so far. We've got 2 Motorworm kills and a Trinex kill.
Yeah. And we've only seen 4 of the bosses?
Yeah, these 3 that GFE has killed, and then we know that Argus is waiting at the bottom of the pit in Skull Woods.
GFE already did the pegs and probably realized that he did. We didn't get any hints about what the specialist has. Have we? I don't think we did.
I don't believe we have, no, so...
Oh, but 2 sword upgrades in basically the same location. Got
definitely
the
not bad.
Smiths and Magic Bat, and now we don't have to worry so much if we run into Vitreous. Okay, Xyrak cleaning up the rest of Laser Bridge as GFE takes the chest on a little excursion. Oh, Xyrak taking a hit by the eye laser and taking a fall. And then taking an intentional death to refill life. Little does he know, we probably won't need that because we only have Moldworm as the boss. Now, someone in chat mentioning it seems that Xyrak is far behind. We can't really say for sure yet because there's still a lot of race to go. We don't know what's in Ice Palace. There are a lot of different paths we could take.
There's always left side swamp. There's a lot of kind of common gamble still left that could potentially swing it one way or the other.
For sure. Yeah, it seems for now it's a matter of where's the hook shot. And GFE stocking up on blue potions. Do not blame him. Considering the stuff we've seen, you might as well come prepared.
No shame in being safe in hard mode.
Indeed. So finally we'll get to see what Misery Mire requires. That is Quake.
Yeah, it feels like half an hour ago we were talking about that being required with it being there on the desert ledge.
Yep. Oh, it looks like Xyrak. Oh, you can't catch fairies with the bug net, Xyrak. Not in hard mode. There's lots of little things like that in hard mode that really kind of take away a lot of your safeties. In some ways, it's a lot like playing NMG, almost. Xyrak also going for Spike Cave, which we know is not required.
But that 300 rupees was put to good use by GFE picking up some blue potions, so...
Yeah, they can't argue with that, really. And just a single rupee from the big chest in desert.
So we know that Landmow's not going to have an item, but the bow's unped, so we do need to clear him out, as well as he'll have an item from the green pendant, so...
Right. You can't worry about skipping dungeons at this point. We know that we need to clear all of them. Xyrak doing his boots checks. Oh, and then realizing he hasn't done the back of escape. But it's not going to pay off unless the dark room has something. Never mind, the dark room has the key.
Yep, so we won't be seeing what the Randomizer decided to put in that room.
Yeah, one of those rooms has a ton of ropes in it. Those little snake guys, and yeah, I shudder to think what might be in that particular room.
Had another Argus there in Desert Palace, so...
Well, yeah, gonna have to come back later. You know, Argus not really considered a super scary boss, but when you don't have the hook shot and he shows up in Randomizer, it can just ruin your day.
Well, it does mean the bow is hookshot locked, so...
I think there are certain circumstances where Ice Palace is completable without the hook shot.
Right, but with Argus and Desert Palace, we need the hookshot to beat him.
Oh, yes, correct. Yeah.
Yes, I think so long as you have Somaria, there's a relatively good chance. I think there's very, very high chances, percentage-wise, of you being able to complete Ice Palace with a hook.
Right. A nice little health refill for GFE after doing the first room, or really the second room of Misery Mire. So Misery Mire has 2 items in it. Not a whole lot of value, but well, that's one of them, and it's just 5 rupees.
It really, GFE's really hoping for the hook shot to be in here, because then he can just head right back out and go ahead and kill Argus without having to come back over here.
Right.
We got Xyrak going in to take on the Trinex there in Thieves Town.
Oh, and GFE just heading right to the boss. Probably is figuring he found one item, maybe the other item will be on the boss.
Yeah, not a bad play. Can save some time if he's right, and otherwise it's only a small time lost to have to come back in and find that second item.
I suppose it all depends on what the enemies are in that one room.
Yeah, that room can be pretty intense.
Whoa, is... Okay, things were just moving at super speed, but I think that's just the stream catching up. Okay, Xyrak taking care of Trinex there. Okay, and let's see what we got for the boss of Misery Mire. Lamolus?
Yep, looking like Landmo. Just got slightly displaced from his normal home there in Desert.
And with the Fire Rod, makes it easy.
Very clean kill, and oh, it's a small key.
Yep, so we'll have to go back in if we want to find that other item. But we're one step closer to the bow. Xyrak picking up his Master Sword. And we'll probably soon pick up Tempered.
Looks like he's jumping down there. So correct me if I'm wrong, as soon as they find the hook shot, they should be in kind of a faux mode, if you will, because that'll be all they need in order to get the bow, which will give them everything they need.
Yes. Oh, and then GFE forgetting that the blue blocks are up there.
Yeah, it's the one downside to taking out the boss in here first. You have to go hit that switch again.
Yep. At least for myself, I tend to employ a no mirror rule in this dungeon.
Yeah, the switches in this dungeon can give you a lot of trouble if you kill the boss, mirror out, and just do stuff in what seems to be a way that you're trying to save some time, but ends up just costing you.
Yeah. Although had the boss had the item, then we wouldn't be having this discussion. Oh, it looks like the item is going to be in the one chest that GFE didn't want to go. Oh, he hasn't gone this way at all. So it might be in the upper fire-blocked one.
Nope, it's in the cutscene room.
Yeah. Well, you can check the hint. Never know, might help you find that hookshot. Now we'll get to see how Xyrak handles these dungeons. Maybe, possibly saving some time, maybe not.
And then with the hint there, we know that Catfish is just holding on to some cash, so.
Ah, just 50 rupees from that dungeon. So, now we have to start thinking, do we want to do something like Ice Palace? Do we want to do something like Swamp Palace? Do we want to go Pod?
I feel like Ice Palace is your play here. You can almost assuredly finish it out, grab that pendant, whereas if you go Pod or... well, Pod's going to be a definite double dip, and Swamp Palace is probably going to be a double dip, unless Hookshot ends up being...
Yeah. Ice Palace for sure seems like the safe bet, but if you're feeling behind, you might want to try something kind of interesting, so we'll see.
Looks like GFE is making the play into Ice Palace.
There are 3 items and 3 hints to be had, so might line up with...
Xyrak about to find out that this will be another Argus fight.
Oh, and there's that glowing ball enemy just absolutely forcing you to walk right through it.
Oh, Ice Palace and Randomizer can be the worst with just these icy room.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just 10 arrows out of that first chest. GFE looking to have that red potion.
Some cash requires a hookshot. Looks like GFE saw the word hookshot and had to do a double take.
Yeah, that's too much teasing, game. GFE doing that bomb jump, no problem.
Probably my favorite trick in the game. It's one of the easiest to learn and also one of the most useful, especially when doing randomized.
Yeah, it's one of those that's really great in Randomizer and in the vanilla speedrun as well. Okay, this room's a lot less scary.
Yeah, that was the Randomizer playing nice.
Yeah. Well, not that the firebar is really scary, it's just... there's almost no chance you're taking damage there. It looks like Xyrak's opting to go right to the boss of Misery Mire as well.
I wonder if he will decide to drop back in to get those good old 50 roops.
Yeah, that remains to be seen. He seems to be lagging behind a little bit. He'll need a little something to make up the time. There's another room that's quite a bit easier in Ice Palace.
Looks like all the fireballs called in sick and the skulls took their shift. Oh, we got the mushroom.
Well, that's another chore to do. But I imagine, you know, our runners will be checking that before heading to any dungeons they can't clear.
Especially if you decide to make pod your next play, because the entire front half is pretty much open to you. So go check that, and then head over into.
Oh, and GFE is having some troubles with this room that has a couple more spikes than you expect. So something sharp is on the Kakariko Village Elder. But the thing is, we already have the 3 swords in hard mode, and there is a cap of the tempered sword. So if you were to go and turn in that green pendant, you wouldn't get a sword. You'd I think get 5 rupees.
Either 5 or 20. It just gets turned into cash, but that is
Yeah.
good knowledge, because that's going to save them from checking that once they do clear out desert.
Right.
So yet again, another hint that doesn't point them towards an item, but points them away from a location, which can be just about as helpful in some cases.
Right. Okay, so we get to see who the boss is of Ice Palace. Hey, it's Mothula.
Nice frozen moth.
And bye, Mothula.
Much less intimidating without conveyors and spikes.
Very much so. Okay, so we still don't have that hook shot. So it's starting to look like maybe we need to double dip a crystal dungeon.
Either double dip pod or,
or
single dip, yeah, swamp.
Yeah, if it's in swamp, we would be all set.
Looks like GFE is gonna go check pod. I wonder if he'll check that mushroom, but I guess he could have just flown there, so.
Yeah. I would probably check that mushroom before I forget about it, but... Also, I probably would have gone to Swamp and just hoped that the hookshot was there. Because there is no chance that we can clear pod on the first try.
Yeah, that's very true. Even though pod is more item dense, you would at least had a chance of clearing out swamp first.
But, you know, this might be a gamble or, you know, something reasoned through by GFE. You know, if you feel like you're behind, and I imagine both of these runners might at this point because they've kind of had tough times with finding a lot of the items.
Yeah, with how hidden some of these items have been, and they've been following almost the same route for most of the race, you have to imagine that both runners just get that feeling they're behind. I don't think anyone feels they have a distinct advantage.
Right. Okay, so pod is not bow locked yet. With the number of keys that we're seeing in pod, this might turn out to be the play. All 4 of those chests were small keys.
Yep, which means that the back here is going to be fairly loaded down with items. So.
Yeah, potentially everything but the right side and Helmus, or the boss, or whatever that boss may be, could be in logic if we find 2 more keys back here.
I believe even the right side is going to be in logic, because the bow lock is only heading into Helma.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, there are not going to be any red mimics in those rooms, so the Randomizer does guarantee it.
Well, we found the 2 fire bars from Ice Palace.
Okay, what do we have in Harmless Hellway here? Well...
Good old
yeah.
Arrow of Destiny. It's taunting you for the fact that you don't have the bow.
Right.
Like, can't you just go up to the statue and just use that arrow and just poke it in the eye?
Yeah, unfortunately, the game does not allow for that, so we'll need to be clearing out Argus first. Oh, and there is the hook shot.
Quad was the play, required double dip.
Yep.
And while you're here, why not go ahead and clear out Eastern Palace, because you know that you can take on any boss at this point.
Yep. Did we see the boss here before?
No. Neither of the runners tried the second Dark Room.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that one can be pretty dangerous in Randomizer, so... And they did not have the Fire Rod. If you have the Fire Rod, you can at least give yourself some visibility. Oh wow, look at this room over here, and Xyrak's going through.
Alright. That's all I'm going to say to that.
Yeah, just notice he's going for the bomb jump here. Unfortunately, getting body blocked by these enemies that are glitching out a little bit. Okay, yeah. There we go.
These are the vanilla enemies for this room, just with their sprite completely changed.
So, opting to use the cape there. Now, this is interesting because logically, I don't think anything that Xyrak could want could be here.
Yeah, no, I do not believe so.
Because really, he just needs the hook shot and the bow. Oh, we get Landmos in for our boss of Eastern.
So yeah, very, very snaky seed. We have Landmos, we have Moldorms, we had a Trinex, and a couple of Arguses for good measure.
Right, and the big key was on the right side, so logically the seed wanted us to go into pod before heading to ice. But who's got time for logic? We need to go fast.
Yeah, gotta go fast.
Right, so GFE is going back into Desert to finish the job on Argus. And then pretty soon he should be in go mode.
Yeah, at this point he effectively is, just has to go grab that bow off the pedestal after beating up on the boss. I'd imagine chat pointing out that he might go clear out the Argus there in Skull Woods and then chain that into grabbing the bow from the pedestal.
Yeah, that seems very reasonable. Oh, and a clutch big magic refill drop for a Xyrak. Of course, the boss of this dungeon is just Mothula, so...
And the chest actually ended up hurting him with the anti-fairy bounce there.
Oh, be careful, Xyrak. Alright, and looks like GFU's gonna go for the one shot here. Oh, doesn't get it.
And Zargus has just proven to be a little trolly on him.
Yeah, once Argus gets out of control, it can be hard to get back in sync with it. And goodbye, Mothula, again. It's nice to be able to get revenge on that boss for just not taking hits.
Yeah, if it's so satisfying knowing that every hit that you're landing on him is actually doing something.
Yeah, you could say that the spikes are the real boss.
Looks like GFE is gonna head back over into Skull, clear out that Argus, and grab his bow.
Yep, and then just 2 more dungeons to go, and then head up to Ganon's Tower.
And being able to go mode Swamp Palace would be nice. Don't have to worry about there being anything in left side swamp you may potentially miss.
Yeah, there's nothing you could really want at this point.
Like maybe the silvers, but
yeah, silvers would be nice, but they only work on Ganon, so they're not gonna help you out in a vitreous fight in Ganon's Tower or something. Yeah, and I'm just thinking, we hadn't seen Vitreous, we hadn't seen Cold Stare.
Haven't seen Helma.
Oh, what if we see Helma in Moldorm 2? That's always fun.
Yeah, that layout of those of that arena is fun for Helma.
Although I think my favorite boss placement is Helmasaur King in this room that GFE is in right now. Because with the spikes around the sides or something, his tail just goes out of control.
Yeah, it's a sight to see. I think that might be our first pyramid check there on Xyrak's side, which was just a shield.
Yeah, deciding is not worth it. Oh, hey, well, there are those silvers that we were just mentioning.
Well, there you go. So, paired nicely with the bow he's about to pick up.
Yep. But again, this is hard mode, and you can only use those silvers in the Ganon fight.
So they won't be any use for the Gauntlet, they won't be any use on a Vitreous, for example. Just gonna help you take out the Demon Pig.
There's that bow.
Curiously disguised as a Master Sword.
And GFE wasting no time, heading right on over to Pod.
Xyrak looks like he's throwing him some money, potentially to pick up some potions. I can't think of anything else he would need the money for. Maybe Kiki. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's good foresight.
Yeah, it's easy just to head right on over and not think about it. But when you're at low rupees like this, it's an important consideration. Now, if we were playing retro instead, then it would be even more of a consideration.
Yeah, I believe there was a race earlier this tournament that came down to the fact that a runner ran out of rupees on the Ganon fight for his last silver arrow.
I hate to see that. Oh, and some people in chat were mentioning that it might be the conveyors that send Helmasaur King's tail into a tailspin.
I could see that being a bigger factor than the spikes, considering we have the spikes in Trinex and Vitreous's room as well.
Right. Yep, and there's nothing that GFE could possibly want. So he's just going right for it. I suppose like another heart container or something, but I believe he still has some blue potions left, which should be more than enough.
Yeah, he should be all set for the Ganon fight. Pretty optimal for a hard mode.
Yeah.
Looks like Xyrak has opted to go ahead and finish off Eastern Palace before dipping into Pod, where he'll find his hook shot at last.
Yes, but he should still be able to beat the boss, which was Lanmos.
Yes. Yeah, if this if this ended up being an Argus and he opted to do these in this order, that would have just been, what did we say earlier? Rude.
Yeah. Extremely rude. But that is not the case today. But we still haven't seen what's in Ganon's tower.
Ganon's tower probably has the best boss room for the Ice Armos, just with an Randomizer, because a lot of those fights are just they're not pleasant when you have Ice Fist.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any boss that's easier there than Ice Armos. Oh, hey, we finally get a Vitreous.
So Vitreous needs some eye drops.
Definitely has the old red eye.
I think Mothra might be about the same difficulty as Ice Armos in that room.
Oh, which boss did you mean? What did you say?
Mothra.
Mothula. Okay, yeah. 'Cause, yeah, most of them are gonna be more difficult, I would imagine. Well, we might not even see that fight, so...
Depends on where the GT Big Key lands. Xyrak is heading into Pod. We'll have to do some digging, but he will leave here with a hookshot in just a couple minutes.
Yep, and we'll get to see what the last boss for now is. We'll still get two, at least, in the gauntlet. And again, it seems like a good enough time to remind everyone that, you know, our runners are putting on a show for us, and might want to go check them out and give them a follow.
Yeah, absolutely. Both these players, very entertaining, both in race environments and when they're just doing runs on their own for practice or even for fun. Definitely check them both.
And also shout outs to our tracker, Reg, who's done a wonderful job. And for Tiru for the restream. You know, without them, I don't know what we do.
I guess we'd just be sitting here talking to each other while imagining a race.
Yeah, that doesn't seem quite as fun. Okay, so it looks like the key is gonna be right here in that chest. And it's kind of interesting now that I think about it, because that particular chest is considered bow locked by the logic, and the upcoming door is bow locked. So that's how you would be guaranteed to get the hook shot in that dark room. Because there's no possible way you could spend your keys as badly to get into trouble.
About to call this the turtle room, but then I remembered that we're randomizers. So.
Yeah, it looks like we got a bunch of snakes, some shadows. I forget exactly what the names of those enemies are.
Snake shadows. We had a Dark World Geese and Grasshopper.
Babusu. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna remember that one.
Yeah, there's a cold stare, just chilling on the spikes.
Now that makes the fight a little more difficult. And with only 3.5 hearts, GFE will have to... Ooh.
You were saying?
Yeah. But he's got blue potions.
He cleans it up and is about to pick up his last crystal as well as ether.
Well, we don't really need ether, but I don't know, could come in handy if there are a bunch of Gibdos in a room or something.
Ooh, Xyrak with the mirror bonk there on the rock there.
Oh, and right about now is when we like to play a little bit of a game of where's the Ganon Tower Big Key? So, Ganon Tower Big Key can be in any of 22 locations. So, if you guess from 1 to 22, and you happen to have donated or donated bits or have subscribed to any of the ALTTP randomizer channels, you have a shot at winning a delicious prize of a place on the leaderboard, I believe. So what do you think the Ganon Tower Big Key is going to be this time?
My standard guess is usually behind Ice Armor, so I'm not going to differ from that. I'm going to say 18, going by standard route.
I would like to see what's in that room as well, so... Oh, and Reg in chat, our tracker, mentions that there is no leaderboard, just temporary fame, so... I stand corrected.
Either way, it's still a fun game, very traditional for these races, so feel free to participate.
Very much so.
As soon as GFE enters GT, we will no longer be accepting guests.
All right, opting for left side.
We have a map there on Bob's torch, so Bob will live.
Yep. I wonder if GFE is going to do Dark Magician strats or just do all the way to the left.
If you feel behind, Dark Magician strats is not really a bad idea, so I wonder if that's what he's going to do, because he didn't go right side first for the those two chests.
Yeah, it is a unique way to route. And then you don't have to deal with fighting the enemies there, so... And in Randomizer, that could be anything.
And it does look like that is what he is going to be doing.
Okay, so I said anything, but it can't be any enemies that require the bow. So Xyrak taking on Argus here.
Yeah, this is his Skullwoods Argus, so as soon as he completes this, he'll be grabbing that bow from Ped.
GFE getting trolled by that Gibdo there and taking out his revenge. Wait, was that one of each color of... No, it wasn't. There are 2 red rupees. I got excited for a second.
Yeah, it was almost a rainbow rupee.
Alright, and Xyrak now in go mode.
GFE's heading back over to the left side and is going to be clearing out the rest of this.
Yeah, we might get to see what's in that horrible Ice Armos room.
Considering the way this seed has been playing out, I would not be surprised. It's another fire bar replaced by a skull.
Yeah, just not quite as menacing. They really don't move anywhere away from it, so...
And GFE opted to not pick up the boomerang in Cave 45, so is having to utilize some different strats here.
Yeah, doesn't have any magic, so the Cane of Samaria is out. Oh, and there it is.
Alright, so now all that's left is the climb. Unfortunately, we're not going to see what's in the Isarmos room.
And I believe, was that number 12?
I believe so. But with Dark Magician routing, my counting always ends up being off by 1, so...
Yeah, we will not see the Isarmos this time.
According to Reg, it was 13.
I trust Reg, so... Oh yes, I forgot about the Firebar room.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, this is interesting.
This room in Randomizer is...
Okay, that Chain Chomp is... Yeah, definitely agree with tanking the hit to the spike rather than that.
And the climb up GT can be pretty bad in Randomizer, but without the BMO, some of these rooms can be considerably...
Yeah, well... Lost the shield to a picket.
He just says nope.
Yeah, well... Well, this room could be interesting. Opting just to Bombos.
Getting low on hearts there.
Yeah, good idea to refill at that point.
Oh, vanilla landmouth.
Well, that's no fun.
That puts us at 2 vanilla bosses now, I think, because we have the vanilla Moldworm and Hera.
Right. And we still got one more to go.
Just hoping for Helma.
Yeah, seeing the glitched out Helma in that room is pretty fun.
Popo's made that room not any different than it normally is.
Yeah, I was just about to say, that's basically the same thing. Oh, this room's a little bit different. Oh, be careful, Jiffy.
Ooh, that anti-fairy by the door.
Yeah, this is a little scary too. Opting for that blue potion. Yeah, you really don't want to have to make the trek back up here, so... You know, better safe than sorry. You don't need to be a hero. If you got a potion, use it.
Xyrak is making his play over into Pod to gather his last crystal.
Oh my.
Oh dear.
Okay, he got the shot off. Oh, was thinking about that chest and then decided, nope. Okay, who do we have? Oh,
Cold Stare.
this is extremely dangerous.
Yeah, this is not going to be. It's either going to go very quickly or very poorly.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you can get 2 of them stuck on the other side, you're probably okay.
And divide and conquer.
But the fact that those ice blocks could just knock you off the ledge is just very mean.
Fortunately, he makes it through without falling off.
Oh, now Tracker has a good point. Forcing magic use immediately before Ganon. So we'll be going in with 3/4 magic. Oh, the cannon guards!
Yeah, cannon guards, which are not in the vanilla game, but their code does exist, so they're part of the Randomizer.
Yeah, why not? And,
Took until the very last room to see them.
and they put a big dent in GFE's health, so we'll have to be a little bit careful. Getting a double off of that first volley. Meanwhile, Xyrak taking on Cold Stare and Pod. I think that's 4 hits so far. I think that one counted as... yeah. Okay, and all GFE has to do is fight the big pig and make bacon.
Dangerously low on hearts. I'm not sure if he has any blue potions left. No, he has green, which will be useful. But
oh, going right in. Could go and get a fairy out of the tree by bonking it, but doesn't have time for that, so... Oh, but getting double hits off of Ganon. Very nicely done.
Using that cape strat, it does use double magic in hard mode, so not gonna last very long.
Okay, he does have a blue potion, so... oh, and he didn't get the 1 cycle. But this is a pretty safe position to be in, so...
Gets hit by one of the fire bats, but that's not the end of the world.
Oh, careful. Okay. Just 3 more arrows. And setting up a double here. Yep.
Yep, so 1 more arrow, and he will... all I have to do is cross this 1 square bridge, and he will take home the victory.
So, GFE. GG.
Thank you. I don't really know what to say about that seed.
You know, Bullet Jill and I were talking that this was in many ways almost seemed like a plando because of some of the trap placements and things. And it looks like in the IRC chat you said something similar.
Yeah, some of those roller placements were ridiculous. I know Xyrak said that one in Skull Woods got him. That was just ridiculous.
Yeah, he took a death just exiting the dungeon. and there was nothing you could do about it.
And I mean that early game to go as well. Expecting I was expecting Agana to give me the lamp at an all dungeon seed.
Yeah, we commented about that too. We were thinking that's where it was headed with that cape, but turned out not to be the case. But you know, then there was the whole matter of the pedestal.
At least I checked it. That roller had killed me. I don't know that I would have gone back to check it.
Yeah, both of you two checked it around the same time, so we were a little concerned one of you might skip and not get that information. But yeah, that was very instrumental, because at that point you knew you basically had to clear everything. So, you know, unfortunately the bosses really didn't seem to want to be killed.
Yeah, here, have Argus. Oh, pistol? Let's just put Argus in desert as well.
Yeah, 2 Arguses, 2 Trinexes, I think. It was a very silly seed going on there.
Where was the second Trinex? I don't remember. I know the Thieves' Town.
I think it was just
Always
the one.
Trinex.
Yeah,
But
maybe
we-
it was just one.
But we did have the 2 Argus. We had the 2 Landmo. It was very, very slithery seed.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think there were
go ahead.
3 Landmo, because there was GT.
Yeah, that's right. The GT Landmo as well, and then we had the 2 Cold Stairs and the 2 Mold Orms.
Yeah, the one-eyed Moldorms.
Yeah, there are 2 of those. They creep me out. But yeah, do you have any other thoughts about this seed, or anything in general you want to say about it?
I think I'm just trying to recover from it. And I felt like everything was going. I mean, my execution went fairly well, other than my horrible laser skips in T-Rock. So, at least.
Yeah, I think both of you took some deaths here and there due to some really mean enemy placements, and we figured probably both of you seemed like you were thinking you were both behind, and we were wondering if you might make some like interesting plays based on that. But you're basically playing. Basically, Xyrak was kind of following you for a long while and just kept getting some unlucky deaths and fell a little bit behind.
Yeah. In my mind, he'd gone to pod earlier, because, I mean, it's a good play. That was over for me, but apparently we both put it off because Bo was on pedestal.
Yeah, that's understandable. And that hookshot was very deep in that dungeon.
Yeah, for sure. I kept
It's a
worrying.
little surprising,
that-
but it does fit in the logic, I think so.
Yeah, I was glad to know that Ice Palace was not gonna have hook shots, so I didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, Xyrak actually checked the right side of ice, and we were commenting there's no way that could have anything that he would really want, unless it was like silvers or something.
Speaking of silvers, the silvers placement was hilarious.
Yeah, right as you are about to pick up your bow, you get your silvers.
And right after we had just started talking about like where you'd be going in without silvers, and you got them.
I imagined y'all probably were talking about that. I couldn't help but laugh.
I just like to point out that Xyrak made it past that really terrible torch room in the Ganon Tower Gauntlet.
Oh man, I barely made it. That was just horrible.
Yeah, that trap basically was body blocking you and fire rod blocking you and everything. I was getting a little concerned, but you managed to make it through.
I feel like this seed had a lot of Hinox enemies.
There were a ton.
And a surprising lack of Lionels.
Yeah, there weren't too many of those. The
Yeah,
Hinox scare me a little bit because they do a lot of damage and they'll rush at you and body you sometimes, so I was playing a little safe around them.
Right.
So with how the seed was playing out and feeling behind, did that play into you going the Dark Magician route there in GT?
I do that sometimes anyway, but definitely feeling behind made me make that call. At first, when I saw I had 4 keys leaving left side, but then it was just another trap.
I think the buzzword for this seed, at least between me and Devios, was rude.
Yeah. And of course, what seed is complete without Ice Rod and T-Rock?
Yeah, that was funny too. That it's less of a concern because you're probably not fighting Trinex in that dungeon, but you know, it's still kind of mean for the seed to do that to you. Because it still has to follow the conventional logic.
Yeah, you would think you're not fighting Trinex. I've played like 5 Randomizer seeds in this tournament, and at least 2 had vanilla Trinex. Trinex in Thieves Town.
Well, that's definitely something you don't want to see.
Yeah, I lucked out there.
Yeah, what was it the moth being there?
It was Moldorm in Xyrak.
Yeah,
That's
that
right.
was
That's
the
right.
first Moldorm. Moth was in Ice Palace, I believe.
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
Yeah, that's correct. Okay, Xyrak is in the Ganon fight right now. Only has 3 hearts. Needs to be a little careful. So, GFE, how do you feel about Randomizer along with hard mode?
I'm still not used to hard mode. I've played it a few times in the tournament, but I always forget something about it, like when I went for that butter sword. I love Randomizer. It's just a fun mode to play, but hard's definitely a challenge.
Yeah, you lose a lot of the safeties, and like potions aren't as effective and things like that. And
oh yeah, the witch definitely made a lot of money from me this seed.
yeah, I mean, both of you got those 4 bottles like right away, basically.
Yeah, that was nice for a hard mode seed. I'm surprised they haven't made it where hard only gets 3 bottles or something like that.
Don't give them any ideas. Hard mode is fine where it is.
You know they already have those ideas.
Well, don't give them any encouragement.
Alright, so Xyrak is finishing up this Ganon fight, not using the silvers.
Showing off the spin strats.
I'll have to ask if he's memeing or... Because you can switch to the silvers in that fight. Probably just showing off. So, Xyrak, GG.
Thank you.
Yeah,
GG's
GG, Xyrak.
Yeah, you too.
GG.
So, you have any comments? Anything you want to get off your chest about this seed, Xyrak?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't really feel like I played that bad, honestly. And I felt like my routing overall was solid. I just felt like I was really slow getting out of the light world, which probably put me behind the 8 ball to start with. And 2 bad deaths. One of them I couldn't really do anything about. So that's probably most of the difference.
Yeah, that death in Skullwoods was really mean. There was nothing you could do about it.
Yeah, it's just when you play hard Randomizer, there's going to be times when you're walking into new areas or through doors where you don't have the health to survive if you get hit on the other side. It's just the way it works, and that's just hard Randomizer just taking probably a good 4 or 5 minutes from me. That there's not really an awful lot I can do.
Yeah, but you stuck with it, and you put on a good show. You did Silverless Ganon. Did you do that on purpose?
I honestly wasn't thinking about it. I knew GFE was finished, so I wasn't. I was just trying to finish and finish quick. It struck me that yes, I did get them, but yeah.
Okay, we thought you might be showing off or something, which is totally fine too.
Well, I mean, I think everyone in this tournament is capable of Silverless Ganon. So,
oh yeah,
but
well, it was nicely done. So, anything else that either of you want to say, some closing words about what has transpired here?
Well, I'll start off with just thanking you guys, Bullet Jill and DV Access, and also to our tracker and restreamer. Really appreciate y'all, and I look forward to watching it back.
You're here. Thanks, guys. Appreciate all the work.
Thanks for putting on a good race for us. It was a lot of fun to commentate this particular seed.
Yes, and here's another reminder that you should go and follow these runners. They went through this seed, and you saw what this seed did, right? So go ahead and give them a follow. And then, we also have our tracker, Reg, and restreamer, Tiru. You can check them out. There's Bullet Jill and I. You can check us out if you want. But thank you all for putting on a really nice show. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. See y'all.